All right, so let's pick up from where we left off last week. If you recall, what I'm going to do with the videos for this short summer season is I'm going to concentrate on some basic fundamental card play. Instead of reviewing a lot of hands, I'm going to take a look at one hand and try to talk about it a little bit more and discuss the play. We may have more than one hand in a particular week. Tonight, we only have one this week that I want to talk about. It's board 10. It may be underneath some of our intermediate players. You may find this redundant and not something they even need to think about anymore. But I know from the scores that that's not the case with all the tournament players. And this is a beginner intermediate tournament, which means beginners need to get something out of this too. So anyways, this is what I want to do with it. So let's look at board 10. It's kind of fun. It's a fun hand because we had two pairs in hearts and two pairs in no trump, and we had a lot of different scores. In a good field, this should be pretty flat, with the main difference in whether or not you get the top score comes out to whether you choose no trump or a suit contract. So I'm going to sit north here, and I'm going to play the suit contract. Partner opens a club, so we got an opening hand versus an opening hand, right? I've got 6, 7, 13 points and a 6-card heart suit. I've got ace, king, and a side suit. So we could say this is 13 points, but remember, with that ace, king, and a side suit, we got no losers there. We know that if we play this hearts, we're not going to lose a club trick, because as soon as the ace and king have been played, the first 2 round of clubs, we're going to be able to ruff in hearts. Now, some people will say, why am I thinking about that? I heard this the other day, and it kind of makes sense, but I just completely disagree. It's like, well, roughing in the long hand doesn't do us any good. Well, doesn't increase your number of winners. That's true. I mean, here, if we've got 5 heart winners, right, missing the ace, if we can score 5 hearts, right, in fact, we're roughing with 1, it doesn't increase the number of trumps. That's true, but it does decrease the number of potential losers, right? We don't have a loser in the clubs. That makes this a stronger hand than just simply 4 points. But the bidding is the same, except I know for sure I'm going to gain. My partner's opened a club and bid a no trump, and on our 1 no trump ladder, right, where we show balanced hands with different values, a suit and then 1 no trump shows a balanced hand with 11 to 14 points. What we need here is a way to force South to keep bidding. I did see a pair that did not do this correctly, but managed to get to 4 hearts anyways. What you need to do is be able to force him. So you need some sort of artificially forcing bid that will ask him, hey, can you help me out in hearts? This is called new minor forcing, and I've told you before, this is one of those conventions that as beginners you have to have, right? This is one you learn. If you want to call yourself a next stepper, right? The next step up from beginning bridge is learning some of these useful conventions. Don't have to learn every gadget in the world, right, to play good bridge, but when you're playing 5-card majors, knowing how to play new minor forcing is going to be very helpful. Anyways, what you do is you use the other minor, and had the bidding started 1 heart, 1 spade, 1 no trump, we would use 2 clubs. You would use the other minor here, though, when they've opened a minor, and it says, ask your partner to say how many hearts they have. If they have 3 hearts, please bid them. And if they have 4 spades, which they probably don't since they skipped over it, bid those. And at the same time, by jumping, show me whether you started with 14 high card points or whether you started with 11 to 13. Now, the reason why that's important is because if I have an invitational hand, right, if I have 11 points or a good 10, I could still be using new minor forcing, because I'm going to be okay if I'm across from, I have to have enough points that if my partner goes to 3 no trump, I'm comfortable with it, right? So if you use this with 8 or 9 points and then he bids 3 no trump here, things have gone south very quickly. So partner has 14 high card points, and now I come to the decision, which is the difference between the top boards and lower boards on this hand, which is, do I want to play this in a heart contract, or do I want to play this in a in 3 no trump? And for our purposes, I'm going to choose to play 4 hearts, and I do that by bidding 4 hearts. He'll know I have 6. His one no trump bid will almost always have a heart in it, right? 2 hearts in it, and it does here. So playing a suit contract in match points, one of the first things you might want to think about is, well, I had this choice of 3 no trump, right? Should I have taken it? Right? And so you can kind of count your top tricks and think, well, if I can get 5 hearts and 6 with the ace of spades, 10 with the diamonds, 11, 12 with clubs, and you can see there's a slam there. There's six tricks there. You know that you're in trouble, right? Your best hope is, for some reason, maybe they let a spade, knocked out the ace right away, so that when the ace heart was, the ace of hearts went out, they were able to play some spades. A spade lead might have been damaging against a no trump contract, right? And if it was led here, eventually we have all we have to do is get to the diamonds. So anyway, so we think, well, we should try for every trick we can, right? But the fact of the matter is, if we make 680 and they're making 6 tricks and no trump, then they're getting 690, right? The difference of that 10 points on the first trick of a no trump contract. All right, so back to playing the contract. We can see we got to do our best. So what we'll do is we'll start with our hearts. Now, I teach that you should count your losers, and you should also count your winners. And I say that because people who don't count their winners don't see when they have the contract nailed down. When it's counting your winners will make it easy to see when you can try for over tricks, or see just how desperate your situation is if you don't have a lot of top tricks, right? And these winners we're counting are the ones we don't have to work for, right? So here we have a lot of top tricks, right? We have the ace, right? We have the diamonds, that's 5 of them. We have 6, 7 here. So in theory, just to make our contract, we have to make only 3 more hearts. So if you're counting winners, right now you're feeling pretty relaxed. You know you're going to make this contract, and you know you need to try for more. Let's count losers, okay? And I think this is important. We have a for sure loser. There's nothing you can do about the ace of trump. There's no finessing it. Nobody, even if somebody plays the ace of hearts accidentally, they're roughing the trick. So you're going to lose the ace of hearts. Now, can you find any more losers? Well, if you go to the spade suit, you can see that we have 3 in the long trump hand. Of those 3, only 1 can be covered. The ace of spades is a cover card for one of our spade losers, right? So that, let's say that covers the 2. That still leaves us 2 more spades. So we have 2 spade losers. They are slow losers, meaning that so long as the ace of spades is sitting up there, we have time to prepare some sort of plan for them to get rid of them. We don't have any diamond losers, right? Because there's 2 there, and 4 of them that'll cover up, and we have 2 clubs. Now, playing a suit contract, just starting from scratch, before you learn lots and lots of other techniques, you'll discover that there are 3 primary things that you're always going to be thinking about, and it's easy to name them as dump, trump, or finesse. And these are the ways that we get rid of losers in our long trump hand. So we have 2 spades that we need to get rid of. How could we get rid of them? Well, we could play the ace of spades, play another spade, and then ruff one. Right? That gets rid of 2 spades. Sorry, we'll have the ace of spades and a ruff, so we'll get 2 out of the 3 we'll score. So that's down to 1 loser. That's if we want to ruff. Right? Now, if we have time and all goes well, we could set up these diamonds, right? They're 1, 2, 3. These are cover cards. This is why when you have a fit and you're sitting in the dummy and you have a suit that's taking lots of tricks, the value of your suit increases tremendously. So this hand has started with 14, but it's looking really good right now. Should he have been thinking about a slam? I mean, he has 5 cover cards, the ace and these 5, and he's got a couple hearts, meaning he could even trump a spade, right? I think probably because he has no controls and clubs, trying to bid on would have been difficult. But the fact of the matter is this hand with a fit is worth a lot more than 14 points because of these controls in the outside suits. All right, So if timing goes well, if we handle this well, we can get up to diamonds, and after playing 2 rounds of diamonds, we can play another diamond and pitch a losing spade, and play another diamond and pitch another losing spade. So we have the opportunity to rough a spade, and we have the opportunity to dump 2 spades. Right? So obviously we're going to choose the dump option on this. We're going to want to time this and keep entries up here so that we can play off the diamonds and throw our losing spades underneath it. So that leaves us only the heart suit to worry about. Now the heart suit's missing the ace and the jack. There's a number of combinations that could work out. Let's say that East had the ace and the jack but didn't have a third heart. Right? That means that he'll get the ace but the jack will fall. If the jack is doubleton over here, it will fall doubleton, but it could also fall third. And how would that be? If we put the jack here and the ace here, then we're leaving the jack in between the queen and 2. See, the queen and 10. Sorry. So we could finesse for the jack, even if it was jack third here, right? It'll come down jack second, if we play this right. But we can also find out whether it's jack third. So I'm going to play East to have the ace. I'm going to play West to have the jack. I'm going to win my trick up here. And since there's no reason to keep trump, right, my plan is not to rough anything, and I don't need the 5 or 2 for transportation, right? And generally those are the 2 big prime concerns. And also if you had fast losers and couldn't afford to lose the ace immediately, because immediately you would lose a couple other tricks. Not the case here. Those are the reasons to not pull trump first. But otherwise, you're going to pull trump first. That's the default position. And what I'll do is I'll lead from this side. You got to lead from the small side, right? Because this guy could pop on the ace, and then life gets really easy. I'm going to stick the queen in because I'm playing him for the ace. It works out. And now I'm going to try to finesse for this one. And East just put pressure on it, right? Because remember, our 2 slow losers are in spades, and he is now taking away the cover card. Okay? Which means if this finesse loses, what's going to happen, right? I don't have any way to rough these 2 spade losers. So I would lose the ace. I've lost the ace. I would lose the jack if the finesse fails. And then he would be able to cash up 2 spades. So I've pushed this. I wanted to make all these tricks. We're in a little danger right now. But most of the time, the honors are split, if that's any can help. And here, the percentages don't leave you in trouble, and you can pick up 5 hard tricks, right? Now, the rest of our plan, and if you make a plan, then you become quite orderly about taking care of it. You don't get distracted and go, okay, let's cash out some clubs and do this and that, right? You just go, oh yeah, my plan to get rid of my losers is to dump them on winners in the dummy, right? And now you can see how that works. Right? You got 2 clubs and all good trump, and you make +2. All fine and good, right? Plus 680. Making anything less, it would just be so sad. Maybe you can only make 5 if they lead a spade. Because when you knock out the heart, then you'll knock out the ace once, then you might be able to rough after 1 there. So maybe on a spade lead it's a little different, but let's load it up again. And what I want to do this time is I want to show you the same hand in no trump, and let's make a decision on whether that was a good idea to play it in no trump or not. All right, so in this one, what happened was North, despite having 6 hearts, decided, hey, I'm 6-3-2-2. It's as balanced as a 6-card hand will get. So let's let my partner play it. He's a very good no-trump player, and we get that extra 10-point boost, right? Now, the first trick of a no-trump contract is worth 40 instead of 30. So if you can take the same number of tricks in no-trump as they are taking in a suit contract, you have a 10-point margin. But you got to take the same number. If there's only, for instance here, if the rest of the field is making 4 hearts +2, and all I can come up with is 3 no trump +2, then I'm going to get a bad score, right? So how do I go about doing this? Again, I would spend just a second thinking some people are going to be in hearts, and I would try to think, and I would try to figure out how desperate it is. Are they in trouble in hearts? And that analysis would go, no, they're going to do pretty good in hearts. They're going to be 5, 6 hearts. depending on what happens. So in no trump here, I have to adjust my mind not to making 3 no trump, but to making lots of tricks. You don't think that way in match points, you don't score as well. So what I'm going to do here is I've got this problem of entries. We're going to play the heart suit the same way. We're going to put the ace here and the jack here because that's the way we can pick. I'm sorry, the ace here in east and the jack here in west because that's how we can pick up 5 hearts. We're going to count our top tricks. To start, we see we have an ace of clubs, right? Ace king of clubs and 4 diamonds. That's 6. The ace of spades. That's 7. Right? We're going to make our contract so long as we can get to those hearts. And right now, the only entry we have for that is the ace of clubs. So this is a little dangerous. But what I need to do is get down here. So I'm going to use the diamond entries. And I'll play up at that king, right? Play up at the 2 top honors here. Right? Hoping for the jack to be here and the ace to be here, because that's the way we're going to make a lot of tricks. And that happens, remember, and more likely than not, when this is going on, where there's 2 honors missing that matter, more often than not they're split. It's not a great percentage, but more often than not you can find them split. I think certainly more often than you'll find them together in either hand. Anyway, so jack of diamonds comes back. Diamond comes back. These diamonds, I don't want to strand them here, so I'm going to remember that I got this ace of spades, and when that ace of spades gets played, I'm going to need to be able to. I have to play the king queen. But until then, I'm not just going to play them off. As long as I could get to them, I'm going to leave them there. So I try the other heart. Remember, we're finessing west for the jack. And we're going to be successful. We already know that. Right? So we're going to get to pull down all these hearts. So now we got 4 heart tricks. Right? We're going to cover up all these clubs. They're going to go away. Ace of clubs for that. And we got to lead back to 3 good tricks in our hand. And we make 690. All right? So, basic ideas in play, right? In the suit contract, don't trump or finesse will do you fine, and especially if you're only been at the game for a year or 2 now, nailing those down so you always get the tricks that everybody else is going to get will be the fastest way for you to improve your declare play. We learn a lot of other techniques that are sort of revolve around those concepts, but that's the basic idea. When you're playing no trump, you're looking at promotion of honors, right? Looking here, I'll give you my favorite phrase from. It's only like the most famous bridge declare playing book, card playing book. Can't remember. That's sad, but. And the way I teach it, borrowing these 3 terms from him, is when we're playing no trump, we're dealing with power, right? Ace, king, queen, jack. Those are top tricks. Ace, king, top tricks. Power. We're dealing with promotion, right? Which we were dealing with in our heart suit here. We were promoting our 10 and our little tricks up to being top tricks, right? Here by leading at the king and losing that one and then finessing, we were promoting our cards up. And the other thing that you look at is in honors is position. And this is the one that I find most beginners take a while to latch onto this idea, which is interesting because once you have that idea, it's really hard to ever think any other way again. Position is key. If the ace of hearts is after the king or queen, it's always going to get one of those cards, right? Because he can duck once, and then I'll have to play the ace. But otherwise, as soon as I put the heart down, the ace goes. But there's a 50% chance it's over here, right? And if I lead up to the king and he has the ace and he ducks, then I score it then, right? Here, hoping for this position, or ace jack doubleton somewhere. Jack third here, or ace jack here, or ace jack there. Pretty confident I get 5 tricks, but I got to lead from this side. If you start by leading the king of hearts, you're putting yourself in the hole. Okay, so you lead up, play the queen, ace goes on it, get back your hand, lead it up, play for the honor to be in the other hand. When it is, then you get 5 heart tricks. So, but that deals with position. Like, where are those higher honors? And if the ace is after the king, then the ace will always catch the king, or here the king or queen. If the ace is in front of the king, then you will always score your king, assuming you have the cards to lead at it. Right? You will never take your king and queen and throw them, your king, and throw it underneath the ace. You will always hold on to it, right? So if you lead here and the ace comes down, you play the 4, right? And now you're in good shape because now you have the top 2 honors, and the jack now is far more likely to fall under the king-queen, unless it is the nemesis of a jack-4. Anyways, those are some basic ideas, and we'll keep hammering away at these things as we go through the rest of the summer months. Thank you for playing.